So talk me through joining WCW then. So do you broker the deal directly with Eric Bischoff? Who do you speak with, and how does that transition go from WWF to WCW?
Yeah, I met with Eric. My first contract deal I met with Eric in Atlanta. I think it was a sports bar, and we met. I think both either a restaurant or a sports bar or a combo of, and we met. And I told him, I said, I had this 90-day no compete. It'll be over. I don't know what it was. I had a month or something left. He said, okay, as soon as that's ready, let's meet. And we did, and we agreed on a 3-year deal. And that's when he was the whole concept of the blood runs cold thing with Ernest Miller, Chris Canyon, which is Mortis, and of course Ray Lloyd, who was
Mm.
Glacier. And so I was Wrath, the guy they brought in, which it was very much a martial artist type of a character. The whole thing was. But yeah, that's initially how I was brought in under that.
Did he have the creative for you already? Did like when you met him, did he know where he wanted to position you?
I think so. I think he had a good idea of like, hey, this, just looking at me, and he was like, okay, he probably thought, okay, this will be right. Of course, this was before NWO pops in, before they start making all the noise. So at the time, it was like, yeah, this. I'm sure he probably thought this would work, and it did for a little while. But again, everything in the entire company was overshadowed so much by NWO, and yeah.
Just
It,
circling back a bit, how did your conversation go with Vince McMahon when you tell him that you're leaving the for WCW?
uh, we had talked a little bit. I don't know if it was a show in Boston. I want to say it was Boston. I just was like, I'm done. I don't think I brought up all the issues, but he knew what the issues were. Like I said, with the energy drink get deal, just the payoffs and the pay and the schedule, all those things, just a combination of all those things together. And I knew that I could make 4 or 5 times the money in Atlanta, being at least closer to home. So it was, yeah, I don't think he was happy with it, but you've got to look at it for yourself at some point. And for me personally, it was time to say, okay, I gotta look out for my family and myself.
I mean, what I find crazy about it, and obviously you and I have spoken a lot about this, I'm a big fan of your work and a big fan of that character. And as you said, you're a big dude, a very big dude, but also you're very athletic. You could really fly around that ring. And what I find crazy, especially in 1995, when they're throwing in all these awful characters, this is the era of the plumber and the garbage man and the Portuguese man of war. Like it's just a mess. And I was watching Royal Rumble 1995 recently, which has got to be the worst Royal Rumble in history. And you come in and you're one of the very few kind of guys that like, oh, it's a genuine superstar. Like you come in, Lex, there's a couple of others, but that was a very, very depleted roster. It amazes me that in 1995 there wasn't conversation like, oh, we should really do something with this guy because we've lost a lot of talent. We've strapped the rocket ship to Diesel, and that isn't really drawing. We've got this really big guy here who can work, who can go, who could literally stand toe to toe with Kevin Nash and be a genuine threat. And I can't, the fantasy booker in me can't really get around how Adam Bomb at that time doesn't have a bigger run.
Yeah. I don't. You just have to sort of take it in stride. Honestly, I mean, it's his company. He can sort of book it how he wants to, which of course he did. Um, yeah, I go back to. I think it was a missed opportunity for both sides.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it definitely could have worked a different way. But again, I'm really happy with the way my career progressed. Once I left, I was really happy with it, and so yeah, everything happens for a reason, right?